Hey y'all, so it's Wednesday and you know what that means. It's time for another episode of Bake and Create. I had originally planned to do Oreo cinnamon rolls for y'all and I did. I went back and while I was editing, I just was not happy with the angles and stuff that I got. So, me being me, I woke up super early this morning and decided to make another batch of cinnamon rolls for y'all. This time I made sure I filmed it perfectly. Only thing is I didn't have Oreos, so y'all are going to see me make just basic cinnamon rolls. Don't worry, they're just as good. Alright, y'all, so to get started on these cinnamon rolls, I already have a whole cup of milk, but we're not going to use a whole cup. All we're going to do is pour a half a cup of this warm milk into a bowl. Now I'm adding 1 teaspoon into the bowl with my warm milk, followed by 1 packet of yeast. With this, you can do the fast-acting yeast, which is what I'm using. Once I put that in there, I'm going to give it a stir, and then we're going to let it sit for 15 minutes and let it bloom. So I'll put this in time lapse so y'all can see just what the blooming looks like. Don't let working with the yeast intimidate you. I promise you it's not as hard as you think it is. I too was once afraid to work with yeast because it just sounds very intimidating, but I promise you it's not. Once the 15 minutes is up, I'm going to go ahead and remove my yeast mixture from my regular bowl, and I'm going to go ahead and put it into my mixing bowl. If you keep this up, then I'll let you in, 'cause you have a way with me like no one. So the other half a cup of warm milk that we put to the side earlier, we're going to go ahead and pour that into our bowl, along with 1/4 cup of melted butter. Followed by a 1/3 cup of sugar and a splash of vanilla extract. And we're going to follow that up with 4 egg yolks. Now we're going to go ahead and add in our 3 cups of all-purpose flour. Now I'm going to go ahead and get all this mixed up. I put it in my stand mixer with my dough attachment. So right now, if you do want to make Oreo cinnamon rolls, right now would be when you would add in your crushed cinnamon rolls. You want to go ahead and add them in, get them mixed in and combined into this dough. So this is on time lapse. I obviously didn't mix my dough up on high, but you'll know it's ready once it starts pulling from the sides. So I put it in a greased bowl and I'm gonna let it sit in the microwave for an hour to rest and finish rising. Make sure to cover it with a hand towel or some plastic wrap. This is my favorite part of the whole cinnamon roll making process, is rolling out my dough. But before we roll the dough out, you're going to need to put down some flour so your dough's not sticking to your countertop, or if you have a mat, you can use a mat. My mat's not big enough, so now let's get to rolling this dough. So I took my dough out my microwave after letting it sit in there for an hour. I'm just going to fluff it down, try to get out any air, and we're going to go ahead and throw it on our countertop, and let's get it rolling. So y'all, just a reminder, be gentle with your dough. The more you touch it and handle it, the more harder your cinnamon rolls will come out, and no one wants rock hard cinnamon rolls, so just keep that in mind. So the goal when you're rolling out your cinnamon roll is trying to get a square, but don't worry if you can't get a square, that's fine. Just roll it out as thick or as thin that you want your cinnamon rolls. Now it is time for the filling, which is another one of my favorite parts about this. So what I have here is a whole stick of melted butter. I want to brush that onto my dough. Well, you see here, I'm gonna pour it onto my dough and spread it out evenly. Make sure you go all the way to the edges. This butter is going to help your cinnamon and brown sugar mixture stick to the dough.
Even if you try, you wouldn't understand it. Maybe something's missing inside of you. Just a bit of sugar to that horrid bitter. Maybe you taste different. Hold up.
I also wanted to help me, y'all. So for my filling mixture, y'all, I done 3 cups of brown sugar and 3 tablespoons of cinnamon. Now, of course, I'm not going to use all of it. Just put it in a bowl, get it mixed up and combined very well. And once again, we're pushing this all the way to our edges to make sure every little cinnamon roll has some cinnamon sugar on it. For the Oreo cinnamon rolls, right now is when you would put your Oreo mixture in here, which would just be some crushed up Oreos. For mine, I don't take the filling out the middle of them. I leave it in there and get it all crushed up together. And I guess you can do cinnamon in those if you wanted to. I personally don't do cinnamon in my Oreo cinnamon rolls, so I guess they're technically called Oreo rolls. So I'm taking my bench scraper and I'm going to go ahead and gently lift off the edge so I can go ahead and start rolling. I'm going to go ahead and start rolling up my cinnamon rolls. Now this will make or break your cinnamon rolls, y'all. Literally. So this is where your cinnamon rolls gets that nice uniform swirl in the middle. So me personally, I try to keep mine as tight as possible because I love the swirl look. So I'm just rolling it and kind of tucking under as I roll. And if yours look like mine, thick and then thin, don't worry. So now that I got my cinnamon rolls rolled, I'm making sure that the dough is attached and not going to unroll. Using my bench scraper, I'm going to go ahead and cut off these 2 end cinnamon rolls and go ahead and place those in a pan. And so I did spray my pan down with some non-stick spray. So I personally like to go ahead and start cutting my cinnamon rolls in the middle. And I'm going to use my index finger and my middle finger as a guide to make sure I cut each cinnamon roll the same thickness. So when cutting out your cinnamon rolls, I do not suggest using a knife. A knife will flatten them out and you'll run a chance of losing that beautiful swirl. While I like to use a bench scraper, you can get these from the Dollar Tree, also Walmart. But you can also use dental floss. I have used that in the past. Thinking out loud. Now that we got our cinnamon rolls cut up, we're going to go ahead and put them in a greased pan at least 2 inches apart. Once we do that, we are going to go ahead and put those in our warm oven to proof. So I typically let mine proof for about 30 minutes in the warm oven. So proofing and baking is two totally different things. Y'all don't get that mixed up. So you proof them to help the dough rise. That's why you put them in a warm oven for 30 minutes. So when it comes to proofing in a warm oven, I'm going to break it down for you. This is what I like to do. So whenever I put my dough in my microwave to sit for that hour, I'll go ahead and turn my oven on 170 degrees. Whenever I take my dough out the microwave, I'll go ahead and turn my oven off. That way, after I fill my cinnamon rolls and roll them out, cut them, and put them in the pans, the stoves, it's come down a little bit in temperature. That's what I mean whenever I say put them in a warm stove. Make sure you turn your oven off before you put them in there to proof. Get all that flour on my shirt. I definitely should have put an apron on. But anyway, into the oven they go to proof for 30 minutes. Now that they're done proofing, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more cinnamon and brown sugar mixture to them. Also, going to pour a little bit of heavy cream into the bottom of the pans. I personally feel like it just helps them to stay moist. Like you're feeling sorry. Don't you look at me like that when you break my heart like that. Like you're feeling sorry, 'cause you're not feeling sorry. Hey, hey. Don't you look at me like that when you break my heart like that. So I done one with the heavy cream, one without. But into the oven they go, 350 degrees for 20 minutes. So I'll put this on time lapse and sped it up so y'all can see the process of them baking and rising. I love watching and seeing how much they rise. Like, I could watch stuff like this all day. Put your hands on my back, boy. Lead me to the brightest of my days. Wrap your arms around me, boy. So here they are, fresh out the oven, ready to be iced with some homemade cream cheese icing. So for my icing, I done 1 packet of cream cheese, a half a cup of heavy cream, and a cup of powdered sugar. So if you feel like that's too thick or too watery for your liking, you can always put more powdered sugar or less heavy cream. Icing them while they're fresh out the oven is the best. You see how the cream cheese frosting is just melting and seeping down into all the swirls and in between the cinnamon rolls. They come out so beautifully. If you're enjoying this video, make sure to give me a thumbs up. And these are the perfect ooey and gooey cinnamon rolls. I can't wait to enjoy one in the morning with a cup of coffee. I really wished I had some pecans I could have added to the filling. I about burned my darn fingers trying to show y'all what the inside of these cinnamon rolls look like. But y'all, they were so good. These may be better than my Oreo ones. Maybe. That's it for this week's Bake and Create. As always, I'll have the full recipe in the description box down below. I hope y'all enjoyed baking with me this evening. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and comment down below. Let me know if you've ever worked with yeast or if this video has helped you overcome the fear of working with yeast. And I will see y'all back here Friday evening.